of all, for those who aren't familiar and don't maybe know about the layout of the show and what's going to be happening here in Saskatoon, when you come, you land in Saskatoon, in our awesome city, what do you want to see, and who do you want to see, and do you want to meet people and tell them about all of these beautiful pieces that you have?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, first and foremost, my GMG family I hold very dear to my heart, and you know, it's great coming and working with everybody, seeing everything, and we have a great time. Really have an awesome time at the show. I've been doing the show for several years now, and I've gotten to know the clientele, you know, and like, so that's been a really nice thing where, you know, customers have come, purchased engagement rings. I've seen them several months later for their wedding bands. You know, some of them have stopped by when they knew I was coming into town to say hello. You know, it's really a beautiful experience, and like this kind of community that we've built in Saskatoon. So that's just adds to this whole special dynamic we have going on. Noam Carver.
That's the part that I think. How did you get into designing? Like, I know it's in your family, but for those who don't know, what brought you to that?
I've always loved the arts and, you know, design, and I was able to apprentice with a master Italian craftsman in Montreal when I was 18 years old, and I learned the jewelry process through him. It was an incredible formative experience, and through that, like, kind of, you know, sparked my interest and passion towards jewelry. And I started, you know, I learned through him, then I went off on my own, starting to like hone my skills, become a better jeweler, because I had amazing ideas, I just didn't know how to make them. And it took me a while for my skill set to develop where I can create what I wanted to. So once that kind of aligned, I started to enter some design competitions. Was fortunate to win some awards. It gave me confidence to keep pushing and trying, and until I was able to launch the brand.
Can we talk about the award-winning collection for a second? Because I know that when friends of mine come in to GMG, the atelier collection is just a complete showstopper. How did you come up with these particular designs? They are award-winning. You must just be so proud. Like, every time you see these in the case, like, that's mine. That's an award-winning ring.
So, I mean, this was part of like my formative development as a designer. Was, you know, when I was small and independent, I was able to enter a design competition, and I was fortunate to win some awards. And I just kept that going, and that became like part of my process. So still to this day, I put myself out there, I enter competitions, and I look at the design competitions as a way to experiment with new concepts. So I'll create a design or a look that might not be the most popular, might be something weird, something exciting, something different. And, you know, so I enter them out, and it gives me a freedom to be really creative, no limit. And, you know, luckily these pieces are wearable, are, you know, quite unique and different and beautiful in their own right. And over the years of entering multiple competitions, many competitions, I've amassed a collection of these award winners. So recently we were able to group them into a collection and showcase them in our, you know, select retail.
The men's bands and Noam, I think that you've got just something so cool happening here, because these are very...
Ask him about this pattern.
Very different. Like the patterns on all of them, but this one in particular that Alex grabbed for me. Tell me about how some of these come to fruition.
So I wanted for my men's collection, like, you know, men's bands have been around for a long time, and, you know, most brands feature relatively the same design. So if I was going to do something, I wanted to do something completely different. So I applied jewelry techniques to my men's production. Most bands are made from CNC extruded milling. And what you'll do is you'll take an extruded tube, you'll put it in a machine, and it will carve and cut the shape and the profile of the men's band. You have limitations, but you also have a lot of advantages with that process. But one of the limitations is texture, patterns, and different design elements. You know, when I design jewelry, there's really no limitation. Like, you can create a pattern on the inside, a pattern on the outside. So applying that to my men's band collection and also wanting to create something completely different that you've never seen before was my inspiration and motivation for my men's line. And you know, it's adventurous, it's experimental, but you know, I find a lot of guys are starting to go out and want something different, something unique. You know, and again, but with all my pieces, there is a timeless nature to it. You know, I want you to wear a ring and be happy with it forever and never go out of style. So that is a driving force behind all my designs.
I feel like guys are caring more in general about what they decide to go with, and having, you know, their fiance come in and be a part of that process as well. I got to ask you, do you get asked by your friends all the time to no, make me something totally wild and creative? I feel like
I've made all my friends rings.
I think that would be so fun, you know, having that around you, and you know,
it's funny because that's, you're touching upon another kind of my formative process was when I was growing up in Montreal and I was just starting out, I would work one-on-one with private clients. They would come meet me at my studio. I would design with them, working together to create a piece of jewelry. And through that, I kind of built a collection of pieces. So, you know, when if you're a designer and you're working behind a curtain and you're never exposed to what, you know, the market said, what people want, what brides are wanting, then I feel like you're disconnected. So that was a fortunate kind of experience for me, is that I was working one-on-one. So like when I come to a show, it's like, you know, reigniting that experience where you work with a customer, you're showing them your pieces, you're making custom customizations, modifications, and like you're doing kind of bespoke jewelry on the fly, which is, you know, really special.
It must be rewarding to meet with people, and that's why you're going to be in Saskatoon, and everyone can come and say hi and grab your ear for a second. I just grabbed this ring right here because I've always had my eye on it. I think it is so super unique. Do you have a ring style or like a shape that right now is just everything to you? Like you're just honing in on that because it's your favorite?
The atelier collection is something that I'm really excited about, just because it's like, it's this higher end, you know, I pulled out all the stops for this collection, but I also held it back for several years. Like I wanted to launch it, then I was like, I'm not ready yet. I wanted to launch it, not ready yet. And then like the past 2 years, there's been a launch, and now like it's really starting to take off like fire. And the level of craftsmanship and precision and finishing, we've gone way beyond anything that we've ever done. The designs are different and unique, and they're made to feature larger center stones, so like it really just makes your diamond explode. So seeing that really blossom now and grow is really exciting. So yeah, that's what I'm really excited about. But
whenever I come in and Sandy or someone says, hey, come and see these rings made for larger stones, that's always a good thing. I like trying on those rings. These are so beautiful. Well, it is going to be so much fun when you're here, not this weekend, but next. You'll be here on the 28th, and everyone is encouraged to phone now and book your appointment because it's by appointment for the big designer ring show. And I just can't wait to meet you in person, Noam. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to another wonderful show.
Awesome. And hopefully we'll cross our fingers, no snow in Saskatoon yet. It's been really nice. We've had beautiful weather.
I'll bring some more sunshine. Yeah.
That sounds good.